This is a public transmission, not comfort, not entertainment. Instruction for the soul. If you can hear me, you are still responsible for your mind. My name doesn't matter. My credentials don't matter. What matters is this. The sun turned against us. The world you knew ended at 11:47 this morning, and you, against all probability, are still breathing. That breath is not an accident, it is a responsibility. This broadcast will not soothe you. It will not tell you everything will be fine. It will give you something far more valuable. A framework, a code, a way to metabolize catastrophe without becoming it. I will not ask you to feel better. I will ask you to think clearly, to stand upright inside your own skull, to become the kind of person who survives not just physically but morally intact. If you're listening to this in a shelter, a basement, a car buried under rubble, good, you made it this far. Now we make sure you make it further. No false hope, no panic, only discipline. Let's begin. Here's what we know, not speculation, not rumor, facts. Fact 1. At 11:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, multiple high-yield detonations occurred across 7 major metropolitan areas. Confirmed cities include New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, and Washington, D.C. International reports indicate simultaneous strikes in London, Paris, and Moscow. Fact 2. Communications infrastructure is compromised but not destroyed. Military emergency broadcast systems remain partially functional. This is how you're hearing me now. Fact 3. Electromagnetic pulse effects have disabled approximately 60% of civilian electronics within 200 miles of each blast zone. If your device still works, you are outside the primary damage radius. Fact 4. Radiation plumes are moving east-northeast at 15 miles per hour from North American detonation sites. Wind patterns are your map now. Fallout becomes lethal within 30 minutes of ground detonation. If you're hearing this, you have distance or shelter. Fact 5. Government continuity protocols are active. FEMA emergency directives issued at 12:03 p.m. mandate shelter in place for 72 hours minimum. Compliance is not optional, it is survival. Fact 6. Supply chains are severed. Water treatment facilities near blast zones are offline. Grocery stores within 50 miles of major cities have been emptied. Assume you have only what you brought with you. Fact 7. We do not yet know who launched first or why. Attribution is secondary to survival. Save your rage for later. Right now, it is dead weight. Those are the facts. Not the full picture, but the frame. Denial will not change them. Hysteria will not solve them. Only clear thinking will give you an edge. Now that you know what happened, we address what happens next inside your mind. Listen carefully. The first casualty of disaster is not infrastructure. It's clarity. People die because they refuse to see what's in front of them. They negotiate with facts. They bargain with physics. They invent realities where rescue is 20 minutes away, where this is temporary, where someone else will fix it. Denial kills faster than radiation. So here is the first rule, and it is absolute. Name reality. Say it aloud if you must. Whisper it to yourself, but make it concrete. The world I knew is gone. I am now responsible for my own survival. No one is coming to save me in the next 72 hours. This is not pessimism. This is precision. The Stoics called it phantasia cataleptic, the clear impression, the mind's ability to see what is, not what we wish were true. You want hope? Real hope is built on accurate assessment, not fantasy. You cannot solve a problem you refuse to see. So right now, take 30 seconds. Look around you. Name 3 true things about your situation. I have water for 2 days. I am in a concrete structure. I am alone, but I am uninjured. Whatever they are, name them. Write them down if you can. Facts are your foundation now. Good. You've just done what most people cannot. You've looked directly at the void and refused to blink. That refusal? That's the first act of survival. Now we talk about fear. You're afraid. Of course you are. You'd be delusional if you weren't. The body knows what the mind sometimes denies. That you are in mortal danger. That the rules have changed. That death is now a near neighbor. So let's not pretend fear isn't here, but let's also not let it drive. Here's the protocol. Memorize it. Repeat it whenever panic rises. Step 1. Reduce inputs. Turn off the radio for 5 minutes. Step away from the scanner if you can. Close your eyes. The world will still be broken when you open them, but you will have created space between stimulus and reaction. Most fear is not about now, it's about the next 100 imagined catastrophes. Starve that loop. Step 2. Breathe with precision. 4 counts in, hold for 4. 4 counts out, hold for 4. This is not mysticism. This is vagal nerve regulation. You are hacking your autonomic nervous system. Panic is a physiological state. Interrupt the signal. In, 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4. Do this 6 times right now. I'll wait. Step 3. Posture, sit upright. If you're hunched, your body signals defeat to your brain. Spine straight, shoulders back. Even if you're terrified, sit like someone who has a plan. The mind follows the body more than we admit. Step 4. Slow your voice. If you're speaking to yourself, to others, slow down. Panic is fast. Discipline is deliberate. You cannot think clearly at the speed of terror. Words shape thought. Choose them carefully. Fear is not the enemy. Unmanaged fear is. You are not trying to eliminate it. You're trying to convert it into fuel, into vigilance, into sharpness. The Stoics had a word for this, apatheia. Not apathy, but non-suffering. The refusal to be ruled by disturbance. You are disturbed, understandably, but you are not ruled, not today. Here is the hinge on which survival turns. The ancient Stoics, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, they lived through plagues, wars, collapse, and they all taught the same principle, the one truth that kept them sane when the world burned. Some things are up to you, most things are not. This is the Stoic split, and it will save your life if you internalize it. What is not up to you, whether the bombs fell, whether rescue comes tomorrow or next week, whether the power grid recovers, whether your city survives, whether other people panic, loot, or help, whether radiation drifts your direction, whether you live or die in the ultimate sense. These things are outside your control. Rage at them if you must, but it will change nothing. The universe does not negotiate. What is up to you? Where you place your attention right now, how you treat the people in your shelter, whether you act with integrity or opportunism, whether you hoard or share, whether you spread rumors or verify facts, whether you collapse inward or remain coherent, the quality of your choices in the next 5 minutes. That's it. That's the entire domain of your power, and it is enough. Because here's the paradox. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you reclaim energy, massive amounts of it. Energy you've been hemorrhaging into fantasy, bargaining, and despair. Redirect it. Pour it into the small circle of your sovereignty, your breath, your posture, your next decision. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor philosopher, wrote this from a battlefield. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. He was right then. He's right now. The world is chaos. Your will is not. Hold that line. Now we come to the hard part. When order collapses, 2 paths open. One leads to survival with dignity. The other leads to survival as a predator. You've seen it already, haven't you? Looting, hoarding, violence over bottled water. People who yesterday were neighbors, today blocking doors with guns. This is the moral test, and you are taking it right now. Let me be clear. I am not interested in naive altruism. I am not telling you to give away your last meal to a stranger while your child starves. Survival requires calculation, but it does not require cruelty. There is a difference between provision and plunder. Provision is taking what you need to live. Plunder is taking what others need so you can have excess. Provision is protecting your family. Plunder is attacking the weak because you can. The line between them is character, and character is who you become under scarcity. Here's the truth no one wants to hear. You are being revealed right now. The mask of civilization has been pulled away. What's underneath? That's the real you. If you're hoarding 60 gallons of water while the family next door has none, you've chosen plunder. If you're threatening violence to maintain control over resources you don't need, you've chosen predation. If you've abandoned the weak because they slow you down, you've chosen cowardice. And here's the Stoic answer. You will have to live with that person for the rest of your life. Every decision you make in the next 72 hours will echo inside you forever. There is no reset button on the soul. So ask yourself, what kind of survivor do you want to be? Someone who kept their humanity, or someone who traded it for 3 extra cans of food? The Stoics believe that virtue, courage, justice, wisdom, self-control is the only thing that cannot be taken from you. Not by bombs, not by chaos, only by your own hand. So here's my instruction. Be ruthlessly fair. Share the minimum viable amount. Defend what's yours, but don't become a warlord. Help when you can without destroying yourself. This is not weakness. This is discipline. Because when this ends, and it will end one way or another, you'll have to look in the mirror. Make sure you can. I know what you've lost. Maybe it's people, parents, children, friends who were in the blast zones. Maybe you don't know yet. Maybe you're carrying that uncertainty like a stone in your chest. Maybe it's the life you had, the career, the home, the future you thought was guaranteed. Maybe it's something subtler, safety, predictability, the illusion that the world made sense. I will not tell you not to grieve. Grief is not weakness. Grief is evidence that you loved something, that you were alive enough to be attached to the world. That's not a flaw. That's what makes you human. So grieve. Let it move through you like weather. Cry if you need to. Scream into a pillow. Write their names on paper and hold it. But, and this is crucial, do not let grief drive. There is a difference between honoring loss and being consumed by it. One keeps you human. The other makes you a passenger in your own survival. The Stoics understood this. Seneca, who lost friends, fortune, and eventually his own life unjustly, wrote, "Grief has its time." But the wise person knows when to set it aside and return to duty. Not suppress it, not deny it. Set it aside. Compartmentalize. You can grieve at night. You can grieve when the immediate danger passes. But during triage, during decisions, during the moments where clarity means life or death, you cannot afford to collapse. Think of it this way. The people you've lost, the life you had, what would they want from you now? To fall apart, to give up, to become a ghost haunting your own body, or to survive with intention? To honor them by staying coherent, by helping others, by proving that love doesn't end just because the world broke. You carry them now, not as weight, but as witness. They're watching, metaphorically, spiritually, however you conceive it, and they deserve to see you rise. So cry tonight, rage tomorrow morning, then wash your face, stand up, and do the next right thing. That's how you honor the dead, by refusing to join them prematurely. If you're alone, skip ahead. But if you're sheltering with others, family, neighbors, strangers, listen closely. Groups fail in one of 2 ways, tyranny or chaos. Tyranny is when one person seizes control through fear and force. They hoard information, make unilateral decisions, and punish dissent. It feels like order, but it's fragile. The moment the tyrant sleeps, the group fractures. Chaos is when everyone does what they want. No roles, no rules, no shared expectations. It feels like freedom, but it's entropy. Resources disappear, conflicts erupt, the group eats itself. You need a third way. Community discipline, not dictatorship, not anarchy. Structure built on consent and clarity. Here's how. First, assign roles. Someone manages water, someone monitors the radio, someone handles waste, someone watches the door. Rotate these daily if needed, but make them explicit. People need responsibility. It gives them purpose and prevents overlap. Second, establish shared rules. 5 simple ones. Write them down. Examples: no one hoards food. Decisions affecting the group require a majority. Violence is only defensive. Information is shared immediately. Quiet hours are respected. Adapt them to your situation, but make them visible. Rules are not oppression, they're predictability, and predictability reduces conflict. Third, create a daily rhythm, morning check-in, midday meal. Fourth, enforce silence when needed. Panic is contagious, so is rumor. If someone is spiraling, spreading fear, inventing scenarios, undermining morale, you must intervene, not cruelly, but firmly. We deal with facts. If you need to process fear, do it quietly or outside the group space. This is not heartless. This is triage of the collective mind. Fifth, tend the social fabric. Check in on the quiet ones. Acknowledge small acts of service. Say, thank you. Share a memory of the old world. Humor, if appropriate. These micro gestures prevent the slow rot of resentment. The Stoics were not individualists. They believed in cosmopolitanism, the idea that we are all citizens of the same world, responsible for each other. Even now, especially now, you are a crew on a lifeboat. Act like it. If someone is draining resources without contributing, address it calmly. If someone is a threat, remove them if you can. But default to inclusion, fairness, and shared survival. The groups that make it through are the ones that hold the line between compassion and discipline. Be that group. Here's something no one talks about. In the days after catastrophe, more people die from bad information than from the catastrophe itself. Rumors are a second apocalypse, and you are either a firebreak or an accelerant. Right now, someone in your shelter is saying, I heard the military is evacuating everyone in 12 hours. A guy on the radio said the radiation's gone, it's safe to leave. They're setting up refugee camps 10 miles north. We should go now. And here's the problem. All of those might be lies, or half-truths, or wishful thinking someone dressed up as fact. So here's the protocol. Verify, then speak, or stay quiet. If you hear something, ask, where did this come from? A name, a source, a timestamp. Is it corroborated? Multiple independent sources, or one person's cousin's friend? Does it make tactical sense, or is it what people want to be true? If you can't verify it, you do not repeat it. Full stop. I know this feels harsh. You want to share hope. You want to comfort people. But false hope kills. Imagine someone believes the rumor that it's safe to leave. They step outside. Radiation sickness begins in 90 minutes. They die in a week screaming. You didn't pull the trigger, but you loaded the gun. Conversely, verified information saves lives. FEMA broadcast at 3 p.m. said shelter in place until Thursday. The handheld Geiger counter shows 200 microsieverts outside. That's lethal in 3 hours. The grocery store 2 miles east was cleared out this morning, confirmed by 3 people. These are facts. They shape decisions. They deserve to be shared. The Stoics value truth above comfort. Epictetus said, if you wish to be a philosopher, be prepared to be laughed at and mocked. Many will say, he's suddenly become wise, but you must hold your course. In this context, holding your course means being the person who refuses to spread comforting lies, who insists on evidence, who tolerates uncertainty rather than inventing certainty. You will be unpopular. People want hope more than they want truth, but you're not here to be liked. You're here to survive and to help others survive. So be the skeptic. Be the one who says, show me. Be the one who waits for confirmation, because rumors kill and silence in the absence of facts is mercy. Let's talk about the question you're not asking aloud. What's the point? If everything I work for is gone, if everyone I loved is dead, if the world I knew is ash, why go on? This is not a rhetorical question. It's the question, the one that separates survivors from ghosts. Here's what I won't tell you, that there's some cosmic plan, that this happened for a reason, that God has a purpose for your suffering. Maybe that's true for you. If it is, hold on to it, but I won't lie to you with easy meaning. Here's what I will tell you. Meaning is not discovered, it's created. The world doesn't hand you purpose. You forge it from wreckage, from stubbornness, from the decision to care about something even when everything has been taken. Viktor Frankl survived Auschwitz. He watched his family die. He endured conditions that should have destroyed him. And he wrote this: everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms. To choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. You still have that. The flash didn't take it. The radiation can't touch it. The collapse of civilization doesn't erase it. You can still choose what matters. Maybe it's protecting your child. Maybe it's keeping one stranger alive. Maybe it's maintaining your integrity when everyone else has abandoned theirs. Maybe it's documenting what happened so someone, someday, learns from it. Maybe it's something simpler, refusing to become a monster, refusing to let catastrophe turn you into the kind of person you'd have despised a week ago. The Stoics believed in amor fati, love of fate, not passive acceptance. Not everything happens for a reason, but the fierce decision to embrace what is and extract from it whatever can be extracted. You didn't choose this, but you can choose what you do with it. Here's the truth. If tomorrow exists, it will be built by the steady, not the strongest, not the smartest, not the ones who had the most resources, the ones who held the line, who kept their minds intact, who decided that survival without meaning was no survival at all. So find your reason, even if it's small, even if it's temporary, even if it's just, I will make it to Thursday. That's enough, because the world doesn't owe you meaning, but you owe yourself the dignity of creating it. We're almost done, but before we finish, I want to give you something to carry, a vow, a code, 10 lines you can return to when the noise gets too loud. You don't have to believe all of it. You don't have to memorize it, but let it sit in your mind. Let it be a structure you can climb back to when you're drowning. Repeat after me, aloud if you can, or just listen. Your choice. I vow to see reality as it is, not as I wish it were. I vow to control only what I can and release what I cannot. I vow to act with courage, but not recklessness. I vow to share when I can and defend what I must. I vow to grieve without surrendering to despair. I vow to speak truth or remain silent. I vow to treat others as I would want to be treated until they prove unworthy. I vow to create meaning from wreckage, purpose from chaos. I vow to survive not just with breath, but with integrity. I vow to become the kind of person this world needs, even if it never thanks me. There it is. 10 lines, a spine to hold you upright when everything else collapses. This is not religion. This is not ideology. This is code, a framework, something to organize your will around when instinct fails. You are not guaranteed tomorrow, but you are guaranteed this moment. And in this moment, you can choose to be disciplined, clear-eyed, and unbroken. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. They practiced catastrophe in their minds so that when it arrived, they would not be destroyed by it. You are living their worst-case scenario, and you are still here. That is not luck. That is will. Hold on to it. I don't know if you'll hear another broadcast. I don't know if I'll be able to transmit again. The generators are failing. The radiation is rising. The silence is spreading. But that's okay, because you don't need me now. You never did. Everything I've said, you already knew, somewhere deep. In the part of you that survived when others didn't. In the part of you that clicked on this transmission instead of collapsing inward. I just gave it language. I just reminded you that clarity is still possible, that discipline is still available, that even in the worst moments of human history, some people choose to remain human. You are one of those people, or you wouldn't still be listening. So here's my final instruction. Hold the line inside your chest, not out there, not in the world, which may be ending, but inside. In the small space between your ribs where your will lives. That space is sovereign. Nothing can touch it without your permission. Not fear, not grief, not the chaos pressing in from all sides. You are the last emperor of a collapsing world. Your empire is your mind. Defend it. Marcus Aurelius, on his deathbed after a life of war and plague and betrayal, said this: "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." So, be one. When this transmission ends, stand up, check your supplies, tend to the people around you, make the next right decision. And if the darkness presses in, if you feel yourself slipping, remember, you are still responsible for your mind. The sun may have turned against us. The world may be ash, but you are not ash. Not yet. This is the end of the broadcast. If you're hearing this, you survived today. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. If it comes, meet its standards, stay calm, stay disciplined.